Yahweh is able, He's more than able to accomplish what concerns us today. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to handle everything that comes our way. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to do much more than I could ever dream. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to make us what He wants us to be. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to accomplish what concerns us today. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to handle anything that comes our way. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to do much more than I could ever dream. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to make us what He wants us to.
Come on, every heart, let's sing that again. Come on.
Yahweh is able, He's more than able to accomplish what concerns us today. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to handle everything that comes our way. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to do much more than I could ever dream. Yahweh is able.
That's all right. We will sing it one more time. Come on. For you that are listening by the live stream, wherever you are, He is more than able, our precious Abba. Every heart, come on, let's lift up Yahweh.
Yahweh is able, He's more than able to accomplish what concerns us today. Yahweh is able, He's more than able to handle everything that comes our way. Yahweh is
King, Yahweh. Knowing another day He gave us to lift Him up, Abba Yahweh. Knowing all what You have done for us, Abba Yahweh. Just to know this great one of how our love kindness is our seed He have upon us, Abba Yahweh. And we will lift You up, Abba Yahweh. We will continue to do, Abba Yahweh. And to play on the instruments, Abba Yahweh. as the nation of Yahweh, lift their voice unto you this day of Yahweh, to give your precious name the praise of Yahweh, and the dancing and the moving of our feet. And our hallelujah we give back unto you, Abba Yahweh. For that is all that we have, Abba Yahweh. Because you own everything, Abba Yahweh. But Abba Yahweh, we will not be ashamed, Abba Yahweh. As the nation and we sing unto you, Abba Yahweh, and cry hallelujah of the greatest praise, Abba Yahweh, unto you, Abba Yahweh. Because Abba Yahweh, you showed us, Abba Yahweh, how much of Yahweh you had toward us, Abba Yahweh. That you gave your very breath upon the stake, Abba Yahweh. Nothing that he did, Abba Yahweh, but he took upon the sins of us all, Abba Yahweh. Oh, Abba Yahweh, we praise you, Abba Yahweh. Yes, with this one tongue, Abba Yahweh. Not 1,000 tongues, Abba Yahweh, but this one tongue, Abba Yahweh, that you put in our mouth, Abba Yahweh. We will lift it up to you today, Abba Yahweh. In your bed, Abba Yahweh. We will praise you today, Abba Yahweh. As the nation, Abba Yahweh, that you raised up everywhere today, Abba Yahweh. Oh, let them lift you up, Abba Yahweh. Let them cry out to you with gladness, Abba Yahweh. Wherever they may be, Abba Yahweh. Because you said in your words you will scatter them, Abba Yahweh. To every part of the Iraq, the nation, Abba Yahweh. Let them rejoice, Abba Yahweh. To know this great King today, Abba Yahweh. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Let us stand to our feet, nation. Blow the trumpet in the mouth of Yahweh and Yahshua Mashiach. Precious Abba Yahweh, the Hashemayim, Kadosh and your Mati Hashem, Abba Yahweh, your Malkut to come, your will be done. In earth, Abba Yahweh, and in the Hashemayim, give us this day our daily lesson. Forgive us our debt, Abba Yahweh, and we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, Abba Yahweh. For yours is the Malkut, the power, and the honor, Abba Yahweh. Forever, Abba Yahweh. So be it, Abba Yahweh. May it be fulfilled in the precious and mighty name of Yahshua HaMashiach. You give us the nation, the bread of life, this day to your nation, Abba Yahweh. Not only here, Abba Yahweh, but let it touch the ears of your nation and the Iraq this day, Abba Yahweh. To strengthen them to stand, Abba Yahweh. To not to fail, Abba Yahweh. To lift up the cast down here in this state. To search our land, Abba Yahweh. To uproot everything in us that's not of you this day, Abba Yahweh. And we soon turn back unto the straight and now, Abba Yahweh. And the praise in the mighty name of Yahshua HaMashiach, I pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. For this is the yom that Yahweh has made, YisraYah'ale, that we may gather into his bed to offer an offering of praise and todah of the fullness of our lips unto Yahweh. So let us shahad, let us sakar YisraYah'ale, all that he has done for us. Come on, let us sing.
Oh,
His Kodesh name. Hallelujah. Yahweh, he's our rock, YHWH.
Shall I
Elect of Yah scattered abroad throughout the earth. Every nation upon the face of the earth. They're entombed in every collection of people. We greet you all. YHWH's mighty and precious name. On this great day. It's a blessed day.
Yes.
Just to be alive one more time. So I'm glad. I am ecstatic. Above all, I'm happy. I'm happy. I can say this with the fervor of all honesty. There has never been anything in my life that I have allowed to draw my strength, to captivate me where I'm not happy, I'm not pleased, and I'm not satisfied. If I say it has, I would be telling you a flat out lie from the gutters of hell. Never. Oh, I may get unhappy for the moment, it's over with me. But I have never allowed anything in my life to form an opinion in me that I know that is diametrically opposed to Yah. Nothing. Nothing. I do not and did not care what it was. Nothing captivated me to that degree that I came home and kicked my wife, slapped her in the face. Never done that. And I'm too old to do it now. And I will be just an old fool if I did it. I'm going to teach today. It seems as though that the time in such a long time that Wednesday keeps being immense. I've just been busy. We've been working here. I've been working. There are times that I hurt after work, all right? But we'll get back into the process of Yah's will. Because we need a little something at midweek to give us strength to press on down the downward course. This world is sliding into its own diabolical scheme. That day in the Gan of Yah, Chava, when she defied the instructions of Almighty Yah through her Rush, her husband, her man, her superior. That's what he is. She opened up the floodgates to one of the most diabolical, vile kingdom work that we'll ever see again in our lifetimes. It opened the floodgates to the gates of hell. Nahash. Nahash, as we learned on last week, it stipulates one thing. And I will say it in this expression. We say to Almighty Yahweh, damn you. That's what we say. You may get offended at my expression. I really don't care. That's what Nahash is. It is a defiance with knowledge of what I'm defying and whom I am defying. You tell me when the son defies his father, he doesn't know that that's his father? Or the daughter, her mother, she doesn't know that that's her mother? Sure she does. If Yah be our Abba, we defy him like that. And that's what we say to him. And we all will dress it up and say, I would not talk like you. Well, I talk like a wise man. That's what I talk like. My talk is intended to separate you or make you love me, period. There is no ambiguity with me. None whatsoever. There is no falsehood, and so there is no middle ground. You either against me or you're for me. It makes no difference which one. I don't care. I have not lost 1 ounce of sleep in these few years I've lived, and I don't plan to lose any sleep as well. There's an old proverb from the Caucasus Mountains. One of their wise men made this statement.
I've lived. I've become old and older. I've learned so much, and I've learned so much. The plethora and the volume of my wisdom, it astounds me. He said, all that I've experienced in life, I've learned one thing. And this is the conclusion of the whole matter. I truly know nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing. But he knows me. And I know what comes out of this book is true. And I know that Yah just doesn't talk to everyone, speak to anyone. Examine the Torah, and you will see the handful of men that he spoke to. Period. Audibly. That he spoke to. And you are not one, my friend. That's a fact. I want to continue. I know I projected that I wanted to teach on the angry black Hebrew woman. But let me hold off from that for a moment, because what is before us is much more indicting as to even why she's that way. You all don't get what I'm saying, so that's why I repeat it, that you may get the nuances. And I know we don't get it, and I'm being honest. But as I stated, one of the most diabolical schemes of hell to open up a kingdom work, not in the external, but within the bosom of a man's mind. It was when Chava defied Yah. When she said to her husband, "You are not my rush. I don't need to go and come unto you or my summit, but I need knowledge of a matter. I'm my own. I know what's best for me." Isn't that the proverb of today? You have to know and do what's best for you. I don't want to live a selfish, wicked life like that. I don't want to live like that. I will do what's right by Yah. And he commands me and you. If there is an opportunity that presents itself, we do right by all men. And then when we move with the house of YisraYah'ale, we go beyond the exceptional by them. And so in the planting of that seed here, it catapulted into a hatred. You must understand that Hashem hates Yah. That's why he did not abide in Torah. And that's why there is no love for Torah from us as a nation, a people, in our own individuality. There is not much love for Yah. And we all have a volume of words that I love him. That doesn't mean the niggas with the rats eat. We love him, we keep, we shema, we guard his commandments. What is the first to love him? With hope. Every ounce of our koach, with our kindness, love him. The other is just like that one. To love our ra'ah, our neighbors. Same way we love him, we must love each other like that. You love nothing. That what you think you love, you don't give a damn. And that's just a fact. It's one thing that Yah's honest with us, isn't he?
Yes.
He tells us the truth, doesn't he?
Hallelujah.
That's what I will do today. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I want to teach today from Gilgal. I'm going to break this down in a form of simplicity. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Revelation chapter 17, verse 9. This is the profoundness of what Yochanan speaks unto us purely. That revelation came by the messengers of Yah, the Melachim, revealed unto him that which was, that which is, and that which is to come. All of this was, present, past, and that's what this is.
Yes.
We got all kinds of speculations. We got all kinds of interpretation. But there is only one interpretation of Torah. It doesn't come from a voice that you hear. It doesn't come by some other man's scholarship. If you are, as you identify yourself, as this one that has this ecclesiastic form like no one else, you are by your words, you are an apostle or a prophet. You know Shulishach mine. I will not listen to you. I will know a true messenger when he opens his mouth.
Hallelujah.
Because the power of truth will always cut, always examines one's heart. And if our hearts are not being examined, something is wrong. Something is wrong with what you're listening to and who you're listening to. Because the Torah of Yah is powerful. It is sharper than any two-edged sword. It cuts, it separates even the marrow from the bone. That identifies there's no life without the marrow of the bone to keep the body lubricated in the way it should operate. And so here is one by the name of Yochanan, as he's there in desolation, yet he was enriched by the presence and the constant reminder of Almighty Yah. We must be reminded of this constantly, consistently, hourly, daily. And so that's why our minds are not captivated with truth. We think about everything but Yah. Our minds are on everything but the pleasure and the will of Yah. That's just a fact. This is what the messenger says. Here in Gilead, Revelation, in chapter 17, verse 9. And here is the identified nous, the mind, the activity, that which has been captivated by spiritual truth. The mind that understands. And not only that, but the nous that is the facilitator of what Yah instructs, what Yah commands, and that mind knows what is of Yah. It perceives.
Yes.
It has knowledge of that which is of Yah and that which has been sent from Yah. So he gives us this, and here is the mind to understand, to perceive what is the mandate of Almighty Yah. This is the mind, which has Sophia, same as Chukma, Sophia, the mind that has wisdom. Every man would declare he has wisdom, and he knows, he perceives, he understands the elements of Torah. His whole life is based upon that. And when Hasatan said to Hava, the day you say to Yah, like me, damn you will realize that you are a supreme individual. There's nothing like one that thinking that I rose up against that one, mom or dad, gives you a certain amount of strength, doesn't it? I'm my own man, I'm my own woman. Don't tell me that I was our age too alright.
Yeah.
When one resists in their own tenet, it gives them strength to go beyond the values of what has been taught to them. That's just the truth, nation.
Yes.
You can feel any way you want to, it makes no difference. And so when he convinced her, this was not some kind of monster. This was not something that stood 1,000 foot tall. Wisdom comes by observation and experience what you observe. And all she had to do was observe and experience the beauty of Yah, because everything was there that represented the word YHWH HaMashiach.
Yes. Hallelujah.
We don't get captivated with Yah. He said that one there is more important than all of them. Try and you will see. And so that's how we're captivated. We're trying everything and nothing is working. Nothing is working. We must come in the way Yah commands. Here is the mind of Sophia. That is a mind that has that kind of wisdom. It is a mind that is broad. It's a mind that is broad and is full of, it has the intelligence, the knowledge, the understanding of matters. It did not come by some perceived institution, but it came by this book that Yah instituted to produce life. That's what this book does. It brings about life and understanding. That's what it does. It gives us the understanding of Yah's plans for us. He said not only that, but it gives us the sense of how that verse. I was listening the other day. I was listening to one talk. He said, you must understand that species of life, they are always in opposition with man to live. And he was one of those insectologists. He said, people don't realize, I never thought about it, that there are minimum 1 million types, species of insects and bugs on the planet Earth. And they compete with man for one thing, and that is to live and to eat. And he said, and as soon as a man dies, one person, they invade that body, and they eat, and they take, and they absorb. He's their meal now. They eat him. We're not eating Yah's truth, nation. Eating lies. And everything is based upon some feeling. It's not going to work. Here is the mind of wisdom. Only this kind of mind of wisdom will understand there is a comma there. He said the 7 heads, listen to me you all please. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. What is he implying? There are 7 heads and 7 mountains. There is this spirit that abides and it sits at the summit of one's labor.
Yes.
They are the 7 Ruachim of Yah, and the Torah talks about there are 7 dignified mountains. And in order for us to understand the ramification, the identity, and what the truth is implied, he said only this mind of wisdom, only this mind of wisdom, the mind of wisdom, only that mind can understand the construct of what Yah has put in place.
Yeah.
Only that mind. It must be a mind of Bukhma. It must be a mind that experiences by way of Torah and seeing what is written before even a mind was created. This is the mind.
Yes.
What is that mind? What are those 7 heads? Where does the 7 mountains sit? He's not talking about a giver. He's talking about a head. Something that is strong, dynamic, and powerful. There's nothing more strong-willed than this here. There is nothing more strong-willed than this. A giver says that there's a healer. There are those that they don't feel as though that they're at your level, and you enjoy that. And that's what this world has become, and that's what it consists of. And we better get our hearts right. We can play all we want to. As the old ones would say, it's coming to an end. It is time to hear, nation, hear what Yah says. What is this mind? I want to first of all identify this kind of mind quickly in Sirach. Sirach chapter 3. I want to simply impart a marshal or a katuv here and there that we may understand. Sirach says this. Here is the mind which has wisdom. We must get wisdom, and we must get understanding. Get wisdom, ascertain wisdom, get understanding. But in all of thy getting, you cannot get understanding unless you understand the principles of wisdom. Unless you know the ordination and how the Torah works, you cannot get understanding of it. And you've got these silly little boys and immature men. Can I say this to you all? I can teach in a way that there will be a lot of people listening. I can talk with the best of them on the GMO and the conspiracy theories and all of that. That's what a theory is. It has never been proven. The theory of Einstein's relativity, it has not been proven. That doesn't say that their components of it doesn't work. But that's what a theory is. And I can get on here and people would come far near. But because I deal with the most important thing, you're going to die. We're going to die. And that's a fact. There is no time for playing and folly. We must be about our Father's business.
Yes.
Period. Listen to Torah. What Sirach says in one verse. You take time and read the entirety and you can see how things add up. He says here in Sirach 3:29, a teacher, a man of wisdom, of instruction. He says the mind, the mind of the wise, that one will zaman, that one will ponder, that one will zaman. They will fix their thought upon. They will be weighed down with the resolution of that matter. They will seek out the wisdom of it, and it become a fixation upon them. That is not what express us. We have fixations on every kind of foolish thing and things that are not essential. But this is what the mind of wisdom will do. It must first of all, it will ponder. It will zaman. It will ponder. It will become fixated with it. And nothing gets in the way of that mind. And so when Yah commands us, we're not fixated with it. We're fixated with French fries and fried chicken and all of that. And we think about that all day. When it comes to Yah, we don't give a damn. We don't have time for him. He's not in the logics of how we process things.
Yes.
And that's just the truth. You will speak highly of you and think, I'm that way. No, that's what this word is. They correction every time we hear it. Not here to placate me or you. It is to correct us, to refine us, to cut us.
Yes.
That's not going to shave off a little bit. It's going to cut you in pieces. But there is no one that can help you but Him.
Hallelujah.
That's a fact. We're dealing with a time, a kingdom that is not a kingdom like Babel. There's a kingdom of resistance. Reside when Hashatan knew he had the door open. He lulled her. And everyone that came at death, murdering. We're some of the biggest murderers in the world.
Yes.
Because we despise one another, we hate our brothers and sisters. We can tolerate this damn wicked world and their lies, their frivolity and their sin, and the despising of your Abba. You despise, sonay, you dislike, you hate your brother and sister. Don't you know that you are a murderer? Don't you know the gates of hell wait upon you? You can tolerate the most evil and the most violent contempt against Yah. Yet there is no kindness and no sensitivity to YisraYah'ale.
Yes.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
You put up with anything with Yah's people. You put up with a drunken, a whore, a bomber, a dopehead, shooting dopehead son, hoish mama, hoish daughter. You put up with any of that. You can't put up with the people of Yah.
Yeah.
It's a fact. I'm not here to make friends today.
Yeah.
He's my friend. And if you're his friend, he's your friend. You will be my friend. Listen to what he says. He says that the mind of the wise will ponder, meditate upon the mashir, the parable, the wisdom of parables. The wisdom. The elders of mine before my time, I watched my grandmother, they would sit there and they would read from the Torah. They didn't understand, but it was a ritual, a process every night. They'll open that thing and read. They may not have gotten understanding, but it was a life source of refreshing through all of the agony of their pain and suffering and affliction. That's what restored them. You stay on YouTube and the finger pumping all the time. That's what restored you. Let's get real.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And then there's a comment, and he says, an attentive ear. An attentive ear. I know there are you that don't like me. Don't want to hear what I'm saying. You get upset with me. That's all right. He says, an attentive. An ear that is given over. An ear that is attracted to what it is. An attentive ear is the wise man's desire. That's what he desires above all things. That's what he desired, above all things. And so when Nahash spoke unto Hava, the ear wasn't attentive. There are things we don't like, our ears are not attentive to it. And actually that is the most important thing for you. It brings about strength, it produces the person that Yah wants. He's not worried about you producing what you want to be.
Hallelujah.
He wants to be what He wants us to be, what He wants us to be. And believe me, what He wants us to be is greater than what you can do. Because our lives are nothing but laborious and toil and all of that. And that's why there's a kingdom that is already established. You must understand these things are not something you, what Yochanan saw, we're going to see, it was there before he was even thought of neons or billions of years before you could measure time.
Yeah.
It's not something new. But this is the mind. We don't search the book. Search Torah. For in it, you are the ones that think you have eternal life, and we are the ones that testify of Him. We don't spend time searching. It's almost like a child never meeting their father. They spend time searching year after year, day, and there's not a day pass. There's a crime case that this detective is on. He will spend at least some time every day reviewing, going over the same thing. And all of a sudden, just that one little small thing pops out. When he was interviewing that one, they said something. And that was the catalyst. Just that alone. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
That's the mind of wisdom. You need to have a mind that is attentive, mind that hears, because there is no one talking about 2019. And all the Hebrew Israelites 15 years ago, I recall they were telling you 2019 is the year. 2020 was the year. Where are they? And all of these little splinter groups came out from the theses of that kind of concept. They're not talking about 400 years of captivity, 1619. You can't talk to me about it because I have more information, more research in the sense of scripture research and time. And I challenge any of you all on that. I'm talking about according to Torah time. What are they saying? They're not going to build a nation. In order to have built a nation building, one of the most prominent things must be in focus. That's love. This nation that called themselves Hebrews are like, where are the skilled men? Nobody wants to be a carpenter today. Nobody wants to be a brick mason. Nobody wants to be a block mason. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to be a plumber. And they make more money. I was sitting with Admika and I was showing them what these men, what they make in cities like Baltimore and Cleveland. I said, this is what a lawyer makes here. Then look at what a plumber makes. And researching, they're just looking at salaries, and you have gone to school for 12 years to be a lawyer, and you owe $1.5 million, and yet a plumber has gone to trade school, and he has learned in the journey of practice. You don't become a lawyer because you graduated school. You become an apprentice. And that you don't get a case filed to try by no law firm. So how is that going to be a nation building? When there's a nation building, you learn how to love. That's why when we came here, I will send you to school, to trade school for any kind of trade. But don't tell me you want to be a computer designer. I don't need that, because you can learn that. You can learn how to become, we'll need that. We need someone that can take a trial, lay a block. Yeah. Someone that can take a hammer and build a raft. Someone that can do that, someone that can frame those windows out and put the windows in right. How are you going to build a nation? Tell me. We need someone that will know how to pour concrete. Know how to wire this place. I'm saying that it takes all of the necessary tools to build the kingdom work of Yahweh. And so we that call ourselves Hebrew Israelites, for our young sons and daughters, no one knows anything today. How do I learn? I ponder things, I ponder things, I look at things, I ponder things, I ponder things, I ponder things. That's how you do it. That's how I do it. We don't like to think because we're lazy. And that's just a fact. We're lazy thinkers. Let me move on. This mind. I want to show you this mind, how critical it is in the time we're in. Quickly to a year on Leviticus. And this is when a Hebrew YisraYah'ale's daughter of Zion, her son Nachab, he blasphemed. He spoke with indignity against Yah's name. And when you call upon that lying dog Jesus, you're blaspheming the name of Almighty Yah in Yahshua HaMashiach. So the son blasphemed. She had to be important because they did not know how to directly deal with that matter. But the Torah told them how to deal with it. Look at the wisdom of them. It says in Leviticus 24:12. So they put the young man in a ward. They locked him up. For what reason? That the mind of Yah might be shown to them. That they may know what the mind of Almighty Yahweh says. Here is the mind of wisdom.
Yes.
We have 7 heads and 7 mountains. Now the mind of wisdom will grasp because of their attentiveness to Torah. They will search the chronicles and the annals of the pages, and they will find it in the book. They will find it. They will search it out. And so they put him in ward until they received the man of Yah. And it was a consensus. They knew what was right. When Yah made Adam and Chava, he put his mind in them. He put them in them. He didn't sit down and write down a list of, he gave them his heart. And that's what YHWH is, isn't he?
Yes.
He died for our sins.
Hallelujah.
He died for our sins. We cannot reject that nation. We cannot lay that aside. So that's the mind. We must learn what this mind of Yah is. And this mind, the mind, not just a mind, but there is a specific mind. There's a mind that we must have. The mind, the same mind, the same mind, the same mind. YHWH is Torah. He is the living power of Torah.
Hallelujah.
He is the mind of Yah. 4th Maccabean. Quickly. 4th Maccabean. It's one thing that Yah does. He enthrones the mind of man. Let's read this and see what it says, all right? We must, as a nation, we must have those that have the mind of wisdom. Not just wisdom, but the mind, which is or was the wisdom of Yah from the beginning. You must understand the beginning with Yah and all things that he has done. 4th Maccabean, chapter 2, verse 21. Listen to this now. It says, now when Yah, Almighty Yahweh, fashioned man, it says that when he made, he bara, when he fashioned man, he only had one image, and that's him. And that's him. He didn't fashion them from the cherub, Lepashatan, but those that were the hierarchy of the Melachim, like a Micaiah. He fashioned them differently. It says now when Yah fashioned man, he planted in him rachem. He planted in him emotion. He planted in him kindness and love, tenderness. That's what rachem is. He planted in him emotions. In order to understand that, you have to examine a plethora of verses that deal with the word emotion. And there are not that many words, or that word is not used that often in Torah. So we think because we get all erratic, that's emotion. That's stupidity and childlike. It's stupidity and childlike. So the first thing he did, and he planted, like he planted the gun, he planted in him racham. He planted in him this kindness of tender affection and being compassionate. You know that was the thing, that's the first thing he did. That the darkness of the kingdom of this wicked world, that's what Hashatan, the first thing, let me talk to her. Let me see if she will open up to my reasoning and to my love and my compassion. That's where we are. We'll open up to someone that is wicked, that's dogged down, before we open up to the nation. We can entreat them, and bless them, and tolerate them. We can't do it with God's people. You're not going to get me on words of what I'm saying because I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. It'll prove out in the end, all right? The first thing Yah did, the first thing when he fashioned man, he planted in him rachem, emotion. And the inclinations he put in man. Verse 22. But at the same time, you all see that?
Yes.
He enthroned the mind.
Yes.
He enthroned the mind among the senses that it was Nazar or a Nazarene, that he was set apart, he was pure, there was nothing unclean, he was sacred, he was refined. The mind. Our minds have become so polluted. We don't understand the end time. That's why we're looking for some big building. We're looking for spaceships. It ain't not going to happen. And I can talk on that as well as any man. My research and my aptitude to do things like that, I will challenge any man on that. But I know that that's not the kingdom power of Almighty Yah.
Hallelujah.
Why would Yah need spaceships? When he caught YHWH up, this is stupid. It is asinine. It is childlike. It's the epitome of ignorance. Hanuk, he took him up. He let sin his spaceship. Suddenly come out there and sit down at that flight. I'm not getting on it. I don't like going up in the air, no way.
Yeah.
This is the stupidity. You can talk on craziness like that. People will love you for the moment. But once you begin to deal with their sins, the whole attitude changes.
Yes.
They don't like that. You got to talk in a way that is appeasing to them. I will not talk in any way that any of y'all will be appeased.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact. Yah doesn't even talk in a way. That's why he doesn't speak to many men. He says he put in man the mind. Yochanan said, and here is the mind. Here's the mind that knows, understand, that perceive, has the wisdom by experience and listening to wise men that they can go back to the origin of things from the book. You don't need YouTube. All I need is me a dictionary. That's all I need. I don't watch no YouTube videos to come in here and teach us. I don't listen to no other man. I listen to the Achim here to teach us. I listen to what this speaks to me constantly. And in my ignorance and my diligence, then the simplicity of it is opened up unto me. I'm not a great man. I'm not a smart man. I'm not a wise man. But I'm wise enough to know that he is all wise. All wise. All wise. This mind, he said, that Yah put in man. And don't you know that is the thing that Hashatan wanted above all. He wanted to captivate the mind. He wanted a seat in the roosh of the kingdom. That's what he wanted. He wanted to abide in the mind of man. That's what the spirit of Nahash. It is not some four-footed beast or some serpent we see crawling around on the ground. It's a very slithering, surmising thing. And we will, by our own surmising, destroy ourselves. Because there's no willingness to deal with the factual truth of matters. It all begins here with me. It doesn't begin with you. It begins with me. And we don't want to deal with me. And so he said, if I can captivate that mind, Yah gave him something that was a strength unto him, is Ezra. Give him a wife, a woman.
Yes.
He gave him help to be a special help.
Yes.
In the time of all kinds of trouble, agony, and despair. Just like Eleazar's wife. She didn't give up on Yahweh. She had been taught the Torah of Eleazar, the 7 sons. You think that is some kind of a fictitious story? It's as crazy we become. Read and think you've done something and you know something. Oh, I read 3 chapters. Oh, silly man. It says this. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Not only that he enthroned the mind to have a sense and a care for those things that he wants him to care about. That's why he told Adam of everything. Just that. Just that. Don't deny me. Don't deny my authority. Don't deny YHWH. Don't deny that I am the one that made you. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
And the powers of darkness said, if I can land a place in the Rush, the summit. It is, and that's what the word Rush or summit, the extreme of a mountain. The Rush, the same word, R-O-S-H-E, Rush, Rush. If I can get a place in the summit, there are 7 mountains, but there are 7 distinctive mountains too. Then it says here that this mind, it governs over all things. That's what it does, that mind. He is the mind of wisdom. It governs Torah, not only emotions and things like that, but it must go back to the concept of all matters. And you must always go back to the Bereshit. When Yah mentioned that thing, you must go back and study out the sequence of that. This is what he said in verse 23, to the mind, he gave the Torah to the mind. That's where he put the Torah.
Yes.
To the mind, he gave Torah. Yes. In order for you to understand what Yochanan says, and here's the mind which has Chukmah, Sophia. Only a mind with the wisdom of Torah can understand the person of Almighty Yah. He doesn't play. That's why with the daughter, when her son blasphemed him, Almighty Yah, they put the boy in prison because they didn't want to do something that was wrong. And we do things out of emotion, our lies, and our own corruption. You don't have to hear what I'm saying. Period. Until they knew the mind of Almighty Yah.
Yeah.
YHWH.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
They knew what the answer was once the mind was revealed. And that's a fact. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
To the mind he gave the Torah, and one who lived subject to this will, rule a kingdom that is temperate. That's the only way you can rule the kingdom of Yah. We are the kingdom. His kingdom dwells in us, doesn't it? That's the only way you're going to rule it, through the power and disposition of Torah. You can't rule it any other way. It's going to fall, it's going to crumble, it's going to eventually fall down. And that's what we are falling, we're faltering, we're compromising. I will not compromise with me and no one. That's me. I'm not going to compromise with her. I'm compromised with no one. And if I don't compromise with her, I'm not compromising with you. I won't even compromise with a child. I'm not going to compromise. I don't play games. I'm not here to play. I'm not here if we gather and socialize in the sense that we can laugh and act silly. I'm not here for that.
Hallelujah.
I'm here because every day we live, we're closer to that timeline.
Yes. Hallelujah.
The closer. That's just a fact, nation. He gave that to the mind, to be temperate, to be just. You must be just. That's what a just kingdom does. A just king, he rules justly. Yeshua, he judges, he does things uprightly, and it is to be tough. And not only that, but there must be a courageousness. It must have courage. I'm not going to be afraid to say what is right.
Hallelujah.
I'm not going to be intimidated by no one. I don't care if you knock my teeth out. I'm not going to be intimidated that way.
Yeah.
I'm not. And that's the fact of the matter. Can I say this? I was looking this morning, and I said, yeah, you know it was your will 20 years, 25 years ago, when we, and those that were here when we purchased this land. This land is not my land. I didn't set it up that way. Now the papers and my shocking, they know where they are. It's not my land. They can't sell it. Out there with Dawid, it's not that way. And down there, it's not that way. I didn't pay for this land.
Yeah.
And I was looking at line here. I said, man, yeah, there is no way we could have moved down this today. You know the little store, the Citco down there, as you're going right there where you used to brought it? It's on sale. I was looking at the price. You know what they want for that? $950,000. 2 acres of land. That little building on down where the honky-tonk bar is, that's been for sale for so long, they want $750,000. I'm looking at land around here. What we have here, it will cost you $900,000 to buy this much land. You're in deficit. And around here, there's no way we could afford $300,000 for this land if we bought it together. There is no way. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. And that's a fact. It's not cheap anymore. You cannot find 100 or the access of 100 acres around here for $30,000, $50,000. That's out. It's not going to happen. It won't happen. We got this land for less than $500 an acre. Yah gave me favor with that man, a brutal murderer. I'm the only man that could tell him, you need to be quiet. You talk too much, Mr. C. That's your problem. All right, preacher, you talk. Man taller than King YHWH, big man, had killed 3 men. Shot 14 at that time, and you didn't mess with him. That was the only man he would take a check from, because I didn't question his authority and his sincerity and what he did. He said, you're the only one that's not a question. Everyone. I said, just get the job done for me. He said, I was glad to get that price. I wasn't going to argue with that, because if I had taken that van to a car dealership, we couldn't have afford to pay for it. And I knew him, his business location in the community I grew up in, it was only cheaper than anyone. That's why I went to him. Let me move on, all right? Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Turn quickly and let's see what YHWH says. Do you believe that YHWH had that mind of revelation and understanding of all things? 1 Corinthians 2:15. This is what he tells us with those that will have the mind. 1 Corinthians 2:15. He talks about a man that is spiritual. But he that is spiritual, he is a man that judges. Rino. He judge, he investigate, he examine things. He get a thorough understanding of things. He inquires into things. He scrutinizes. He looks. No, that something is wrong with that. That wasn't like that the other day. He scrutinizes and he looks and he's careful. He that is spiritual judge, he began to swear in his own mind. It's easy for me to say to my Isha, I judge her with a mind that is untemperate, and I judge her with no kind of sense of care or anything. And that's the way we judge. That's the way we judge. We have no sensitivity at all. He said, he that is spiritual, he judge all things, yet he himself, he is judge of no man. Why not scrutinize him? Why not scrutinize me? See if I'm a liar. See if I'm a thief. See if I'm a robber. There were things I needed to get this week. I really couldn't get them because someone went into our little account and stole $2,300. I don't like credit cards, but you just can't do anything without them, the debit and all that. And they said, well, it'll be 10 days before we get a final. And so I wrote them here, as my grandmother would say, a nasty, cordial, very professional letter of survey. They got it done in less than 10 days. You understand? And they could tell by the punctuation, all that, well, this is, I don't know about him, he may, let's go ahead and get this resolved. I couldn't even get the supplies we needed because that's the card I used to buy those things. And we said to my friend, see, they took all of this off. One transition at 11:30, one at 11:35, another 15 minutes later. They purchased those expensive iPhones, those Androids. That's this world. That's why we as a nation, the mind, we will scrutinize ourselves and judge it. You cannot get the revelation of Torah when you don't examine the eons that displace me. When I'm doing things I know I'm wrong and I'm confident in that, that's why that Nachash, that kingdom of Nachash, that's why I have I lied. And so the man was brought into the snare of that kingdom, and so when Yah spoke, they heard. And we try to hide ourselves from what I have nothing to hide. And I hide nothing. I don't need to hide nothing. Your own sins will find you out. And this is what goes around today, that there's no revelation. I have no insight as to what Yah is doing. None whatsoever. None. We're training our children wrong. My mother began with me. Go to school, get a good education, and get a job. And they had millions of dollars worth of debt. They come out of college in debt. I can go down to a community college, get me a trade, and pay for that semester, that quarter. Not 100, but $100 bill. And I got a skill set. The only thing I have to do is shut my mouth and let someone teach me. I said, the pastor, Bridget, I work for you for $5 an hour. He said, I can't do that. I got the minimum, start off 15. Come on, man, I could have stayed in IBM and made more money than that and didn't have to work that hard. I said, I work on one condition, you pay me $5 an hour. He said, no! I pay my half a month. I said, well, then you don't want me to work for you. I said, you won't find a worker that's going to work as hard as me. He said, but come on. And this was the same brother that came against me. I don't have no pride like that. I don't have pride, period. And I went to work for him. I was doing the helper's job, and he was such a fast mason. He said, now, when you get a chance, you jump in and help me. Well, I got to make sure. Then he had this older man. He had been laying for 30 years. So a new friend like me, I got to make sure they're caught up. See, he didn't realize I had the skill to do that because that was the first job I got in real life. Mason helper. An old hippie boy said, pick up that trowel. You get caught up and I teach how to do this. And I worked for a man who looked just like me. His heel was just like mine. And all the masons looked like me. Not one of them said to me, pick up the trowel. The hippie boy said, pick it up. I got two in my bag right there. You go ahead. I'll teach how to swim. And he began the process. So where are the nation builders in the sense that you can't even go to these churches and they can get together and build a house. Nobody but the Jehovah's Witnesses. And that's a fact. Who's going to do the plumbing? So all of that intricate work that needs to be done in our line. We need to tear down the walls.
Hallelujah.
We need to tear down those old dapper walls that we have put up based upon your emotion, your stupidity, your ignorance. We must build the wall according to the plan.
Hallelujah.
And the only way you can understand the plan is it has to be in the mind. And in that mind of Yah, he put the plan there from the beginning. That's why the first thing he did, he put the mind there. He put the mind in man, and he created it with emotions. You understand that? That's what he did. Where are the men with the mind today that can tell us through revelation? The year 2019, 15, 18 years ago, you were talking about it. Why not now?
Hallelujah.
400 years of bondage. This is it. This is the end of it. Repatriation. The liars, they're devils, they're evil liars. That's what they are. There's a kingdom that's going to be built. And the mother of this kingdom of Yah, the city renewed, the Zion, is from above. It is the wisdom of that city. It's the mind of that city. That's what we're going to build from. We're going to build from her. We're going to build from her. That's just a fact. Verse 16 of the same verse. For who knows the mind of Yah? Who knows his mind? Who knows the mind? Who knows the mind? Here is, and here is the mind which has wisdom. That's one sentence there. Here is the mind that has wisdom. The mind that understands the seven heads. They all can tell you who the seven heads are. They don't know. They have not even, they're repeating what others have told them, nation. And that's just the truth. How do we as a nation, how can we get to that point where we can understand the things of Torah? We can understand the preciseness of end time. Baruch tells us this. Listen, second Baruch. That is what wisdom. People are, these liars, they have visions, but there is no interpretation. Listen, I don't need a vision. Without vision, I know that we will perish. But we have a vision in this book that is greater than anything that I can sense or believe that I have interpreted from Yah. Look at what the Nobi Baruch says here. Second Baruch, chapter 38, verse 1. When he had no understanding of that thing that troubled him, when he had no wisdom at all of that chazon, that vision. We don't have a vision of the kingdom. Because we have a vision of the kingdom, we will change all of our ways. And we truly believe and had a vision of the kingdom. We will not lie, be dishonest. We'll be honest with each other. We will live faithfully with each other. We will respect. But when you can lie like a dog, you're an evil man. You know you have your father, the devil. He was a liar from the beginning. And when you do not abide in truth and Torah, you will lie like any dog. You become a part of the practice. And no liar, he that maketh a lie, make a lie, should not go into the kingdom. You will never get the kingdom knowledge of the kingdom blessing. And that's just a fact.
Yes.
You're not going to get that kingdom knowledge and that kingdom blessing. Yes. Period.
Yes.
Let's see what the Nobi says. Baruch. Second Baruch. Chapter 38, verse 1. He said, first of all, I prayed. I made halal. I was very inquisitive. I cried out. I got on my knees before Yah, and this is what I said. Oh, Yahweh. He said, I know and you know that you're the master. You're sovereign. You answer to no melech, no man. You answer to no one. You set a law. You set independently of even your counsel there in the heavens. That's how he identified it. Oh yeah, I'm a dirty. When I began to pray, I'm a dirty, violent, evil, sadistic devil of hell. That's what I call me. I'm evil. I'm wicked. I'm a violent, evil man. I'm corrupt as they come. But Yah, don't allow me to be given over unto any practice that way. I know I'm dirty. I know I'm evil. But don't let me practice that lie. Yah. Don't let me practice things that I know that are evil. Don't let me conspire. I was in here during the singing. I was just thinking, tears overwhelmed my eyes someone. And I said, yeah, I bless y'all for these few brothers we have here.
Hallelujah.
I was looking at that wall out there. I said, well, those brothers, they put it together, but and how many seeds? I planted the seeds. Go over there, look at the table. Go look at the table. I don't let nobody touch the tables. I touch the tables. Look at the seeds. And they're right. And so my heart was overwhelmed. I said, these brothers can build a kingdom. They can build a city.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
You know how to.
Yeah.
They can do the block. They can do the concrete.
Yeah.
Where in most places you can't find no one. They're lazy and they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But they can build. Can you imagine someone like T.D. Jakes? He could buy with the kind of resources. I heard one day he had 78 businesses. If that's not a greedy bastard, a child birth out of the gutters of hell. For the love of money is the root. That's an evil, evil bastard. T.D. Jakes is an evil, evil bastard. T.D. Jakes is an evil, evil bastard. And they think because they bought this woman here a car, she got 6 babies, and they go, help her. They think that's something. They could be commended. You are a dirty bastard. Even if you men that call yourself leaders of the people, can you imagine they could buy 1 million acres? Where? Anywhere. You can build your own infrastructure. You got men that can build houses. You can have one of the most powerful design communities in the world that they will come from every part of the world. You will educate your young men, your daughters. You will have your own university there and prepare your doctors and lawyers. Yes, you could. They're so damn greedy and we're so stupid. We buy a personality. There's nothing about that man in his physicality, his look, or nothing that I would buy. Not me. You can buy them. There's nothing about like a henchman, henman, like Benny Hinn, I would buy. Nothing about him. There's nothing about these devious dogs of hell. Nothing about them. They could build a city that will rival any city in the world. They can command the corporation. No, this is ours. We're going to own this percentage, and we're going to give you the best workers. You got your own bank. You don't have to go outside of your community. You can buy everything you need. No, you go to China, you have them to build you. You make your own tennis shoes, your own design tennis shoe flyers. You sip walkers. Chicana grinders. Zakia Dawid. At the time, you got all your sneakers name. Marcos the Costa. And every kind of shoe you want. This is how stupid this people that's looking for 2019, and they're afraid to talk about it.
Yes.
You will rival the world. You're men building adobe houses and everything. You got your own adobe factory, making your stuff your own concrete. That's what the McGee brothers did down there, and they're not a crazy kind of church. They make their own concrete. The masons work when there's raining or snowing. They build mailboxes and they sell them all over. It saddens me the stupidity of those that look like me and how smart they think they are. They're missing one of the most important elements of everything that's love. When you love each other, I don't care who it is. Man love his wife, he will do right by her. And when she's wrong, he'll tell her. When a wife of her husband, she will not try to overpower him, but her love will instruct him and help him in his walk. Stupidity. The wife is not some kind of slave. She's my special help. She's my Ezra. That's what she is. That's just a fact. We need to, as Baruch did. First thing he did, he prayed. He didn't know, so he prayed. You don't know, so pray. You can't do nothing else pray. You don't even know how to pray, just pray. But help me, y'all. I don't know what to say. Y'all, how do I pray? I know you told us how to pray. It's okay, let me pray that way, but what do I say? I don't know what to say. I'm just crazy. Please. Daddy, I'm just so nutty. Go back with the same prayer. Baruch, he prayed and said, "Oh, sovereign Yah, you're my master. What I need you," he says, "you, no one else now, you are the one who always ma'or. You are the one that enlightens. You are the one that brings light of rejoicing to all matters in life. That's why you are the one that enlightens those. He doesn't enlighten everyone. Those who conduct themselves with understanding. That's why you get wisdom. Get understanding. And then all you got to get understanding of the wisdom. And what is the hukmah? You become skillful in battle. You're skillful with the sword of Yah. You're skillful with the word of Yah. You know how to fight, and you're not intimidated by the false delusional warriors. That's what wisdom is. Wisdom is shrewd. It doesn't mix its words. We mix all of our words. We're not wise. It doesn't mix its words. Examine the word hukmah in the Hebrew language. The Ugaritic, the Ethiopic, it all means the same. It's true. It says what it says because it means what it means. Enlighten those who conduct themselves with understanding. You can conduct yourself with binor or the discernment of any matter unless you have wisdom. Yes. Preacher, you know that spaceships are coming. Boys, shut up. Sit down and be quiet. Yeah. Well, y'all told me you're alive, then he had to tell everybody. I hear the same thing you said. You think you're the first one I've heard say that? I've been around longer than you. I can look at you. You're not even close to my age. So I've been around longer than you. You haven't heard nothing I haven't heard. Because you're trying to spring that on me. You just heard it. So you're trying to spring that on me to let me know you know something, you know nothing. Yeah. Look at what the messenger says. They conduct themselves for understanding. Then he tells Yah, your Torah. I said to us in 4th Maccabees, you remember? Yeah. He says, to the mind, he gave the Torah. Yeah. That's what he said, didn't he? Yeah. He gave the Torah to the mind. That's what he did. He says to him, your Torah is life, and your wisdom is the right way. There's no other way. Yeah. You cannot find the right way but by wisdom. You cannot understand what is right but by wisdom. You cannot. His wisdom is the right way. And then he says, now, there's a comma there. He got something expressive to say to Yah. He says, show. Open up. Show that. Show me the explanation of this chazon, this prophecy. These boys today are not asking Yah, show me the understanding of these prophecies. Everything has been laid down by those that they call Esau. And they just add bits and pieces to that. Or from that original interpretation, they interpret it with their own slant. That's what they all do. This messenger say, Yah, show me, help me. show me, open up the wisdom. Explain to me this chazon, this prophecy, these words from your mouth, these words, this vision. I don't understand. And then he says to Yah, for you know that my nephesh has always been associated with your Torah. And he enthroned the mind of man with his Torah. His Torah has not changed. He gave man in the form that we're in, just like he gave Lucifer and those of the kingdom, the manifestation of what his Torah within the kingdom of his power above the heavens. He gave them a Torah as well. And he gave us a Torah of life that we will see the constitution and the viability of that in Yahushua. In essence, we will see this Torah life. We will understand death and life. We will understand all that. Yahshua HaMashiach. And that's what this kingdom power of this work to establish. It is something about that number 7. We understand the significance and all of that. But if I get this root of these 7 pillars, as we were taught on last week, if I get this tower, the strength here, ain't nothing like our minds. It's arrogant, it's hubris. It stinks. It's prideful. No, not my mind, your mind. Not your mind, my mind. Not my mind, your mind. That's what we are. No, I'm talking about your mind. Your neighbor is arrogant. It's hubris, it's prideful, it's insensitive, it's cold, it's nasty, it's self-will, self-pride. That's your mind. You protect everything that Yah doesn't protect. See, he realized that I'm nothing. That's what Baruch did. I don't know what this means. These arrogant beasts today, they would send the people scouring in lies, thinking they understand the time of the end. And they don't even understand the simplest of Proverbs. Not at all. My nephesh, my being, has always been associated with your Torah. And that I did not depart from. What? Your wisdom. From my earliest days. I've departed from his wisdom, his truth, his life, since my first day. In essence, he said, I didn't leave you behind yet. We cannot base things upon what I know today. That's why I will always say that. I was thinking about Evangelist Hartsfield. He taught a lot of things and did a lot of things that I did not concur with. But my mind was not developing the wisdom of Torah, where I could speak the way I speak today. So I didn't find it. But he would make me go into deeper depth into Torah. And all I had was that little concordance, my scripture, and a dictionary, and a pencil and a piece of paper. I didn't have no computer back then. I can pull up scripture, I can search scripture quick at one click. I didn't have that back then. But I didn't try to cause any kind of disruption because of that. I didn't try to show him you're wrong. But I knew he was wrong. And my prayer to y'all was this: I don't want to be like him. You know that folks say, I want to be like him. No, I didn't want to be like him. I said, y'all would never, I would say that y'all would never do what he does. I would never take the money like this. I would never use the people the way he does. I said, I would never do that. I would not buy my wife no fur coat or pearls and diamond earring. And I'm glad she didn't even like stuff like that. I'm glad she didn't like stuff like that. I don't want that. She didn't want no gold bracelets or anything. That kind of trinket mess.
Yeah.
I'm glad. But that did not mean that I just dispelled everything he said. There were things he said I knew it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right. And I was the only one that he would question every time I did it in the pulpit. What does that word mean? What does Kodesh mean? I remember the first time. What is that? You use the word Kodesh. Well, I found it there in the Concordia. I said, okay, Kadosh, Kodesh. That's what I did. What I explained to him is, oh, okay, all right, my brother. And then he turned against me. I'm glad that we have not gone that way here, all right? Yeah. Quickly, one more thing here on this mind thing. In Sirach 19:20. Wisdom composition. Sirach 19:20. Sirach chapter 19 verse 20. He tells us of the composition of wisdom. He says the fear of Yah is all wisdom. You all understand that? You don't even have no wisdom of Yah unless there's fear. He said the fear of Yah is the consummation of all wisdom. He used the word all. Is that there in your the substance, the fullness is all wisdom. Semicolon. And in all wisdom, when one has all wisdom, what has the wisdom of Yah, there is performance or imunah. There is performance. And the word performance or imunah, imunah is something of strict performance. You don't just say, I got imunah, I got faith. Yes. It means that there is a faith that abide in the rules and the laws of imunah. Yes. It is strict. You believe Yah, you must believe Him. He says of this, the wisdom is the performance. Wisdom is the performance of not my interpretation, not some vision I saw, not some voice I heard, but he said wisdom is the performance of the Torah. That's what he said. That's what wisdom is. It performs, it carries out the obligation of the mind of Almighty. Because in Torah we know that there is life. You choose the fulfillment of the Torah. So that's what it does. That's what it does, nation. You can't add to this. I would be a fool trying to add something new to this. I'll just read the scripture. And the scripture will give revelation. You don't have to be a rocket scientist just to understand this. It gives us understanding. And then he said, and the knowledge of Him. His knowledge is omnipotent. There is no end to what Yah knows. It's present all the time. We just don't know how to call on Him. Yeah. It's omnipotent. It's powerful. There's nothing like His da'at. Yeah. It discerns all things. You don't have to sit and try to discern more. You began to quote scripture, you began to talk Torah, you will find out what someone's made out. That's all you got to do. You begin to talk from this book. And when one began to engage, always change conversation, that's going to make them drive a stake through their heart. Or I'm just going to leave them. And when someone that doesn't care about the things of Yah, because they don't care about you, they don't want to hear you talk about Yah. That's just a fact. And I will not cast the pearls of Yah before a dog of a pig like that. And give that which is kadosh unto a swine, a dog, a pig dog. A pig dog. And I guarantee you they've tried to make a pig dog, all right? I guarantee you that. Some crazy boy, he has taken the genes of both and fused them together. Believe me, you know they have. I guarantee they made something like a pig dog or anything. They try anything. That's just a fact. So I will not take Yah's precious gem and pour them out on pigs and dogs. I will not do that because He tells us not to do that. So I don't care about people getting crazy with me and don't like me. It makes no difference at all. Period. I have never worried about how someone felt about me. Period. Not even her. Because I do right by you. You gonna do right by me. Period. No disputing in that. There's no conversation with that. We don't even have to discuss that. Now tell me what did you wrong. I don't want to hear that. All right. I don't mind you crying. I like it when you cry. That's all right with me. It is. I know my proper place as a man, and I know the beautiful proper place as my Yeshua. I know that. And Yah constructed that. I will be a damnable damn fool to try to be constructed by some kind of emotion or some kind of feeling. I would not do that. I will not do that. Period.
Yeah.
She has no testimony. Says I've done it. As the man, and as a show leads the woman. You. That's a fact. Let me give you this display of your wisdom. We're going to get back to what I read there, Revelation 1. We are people, we are hasting always to get to a point, and you don't even understand the road you've traveled. You don't even understand that. Go on a trip, went to see Achmichaya family. Alice, like that night. No more than I knew I was going to be this, and that. It was back. I could through that in the trunk days before. So we want to take a journey with Yahweh. We don't want to go through the course or in the direction that He commands us. That's the problem. Man, you must walk in the direction of Yahweh. Woman, you must. Daughter Zanya, you must do that. This is a road, man. Period. There's not going to be a Bobel built in America and around the world. This mark is not going to be by some computer chip. That's a lie.
Yeah.
How do you, if you believe in the chaotic circumstance, how do you even manage that? What connects America with the world? They got satellites. But what connects America with Europe? There are cables underground, there are cables that are as huge as they come. And they lay on the bottom of the ocean. And they got ships out there that spread those big cables, and they get them down deep because they know nobody's going to come to cut it. And they take the central route. And they'll lay there for hundreds of years. If all this infrastructure is brought down, how do you communicate with Europe? How do you do that? How do you communicate with those, the diaspora of those, the ones that are in the hills up there in Tennessee, hide themselves? They're hunting and eating rattlesnake and pork belly and everything, rat belly and all. You got to come and eat them. We don't buy nothing from you, no way. What are we going to buy from you? What you going to tell a Muslim? You know, it's just insane. It's crazy. This thing is not coming by some kind of pen and paper, some kind of chip. It's coming like it was introduced. Nahash was not introduced without a mark. He marked a mind, and that right hand, as the old Baptists say, you are coming at the right hand of fellowship. It's the fellowship. That's why Yeshua sits on the right hand of Yah, and you're on the right hand, and His nation is on His right hand. It's crazy. And people bow their stupidity. Can I say this nation? I'm going to get to something. Well, don't worry. This is not some kind of little easy message, all right? How do we, even here, everything we got on those tables out there, organic. I do have some hybrids. The fool will tell me why you grow hybrids. And these are the same fools that will go to Walmart and buy groceries. They're stupid jackasses. And all around us is GMO. All around us. There are tens of thousands of acres. You go out here, turn right or left either way. You will see the massive, right down the road, cornfields, wheat fields and all. These bees we got up here in our garden, those bees, when there's not enough there, they're going down to the cornfield down here. They will go up to 5-7 miles in a day, journey for them to keep the queen alive. And so when they come back and see we got some flowers here, it's going to sit, it's squashed down on our plants too. I don't care if you live in the boondocks. I'm not fearful of GMO. No GMO gonna kill me. He's gonna take me in his time. This is the stupidity. No GMO. And now you can see, so they certainly tell you no GMO. You liars. The quantity of seed and wheat and things, these big, they have wheat, not bins, but where's that place? I can't think of it. They got a place in Colorado, because they're in the Midwest. That's all they grow, North and South Dakota, wheat. And they come with massive truckloads of wheat. And they dump them into these big underground silos, miles long. And so when the bakery comes to buy wheat, Mr. Marita, they buy the wheat at the commodity price. They got Marco's wheat mixed with Cypress wheat, Jacqueline, Wasidak. They don't separate it that way. And when they test that, they test a certain small percentage on the billions. That's what they allow certain worms and bugs, it can be in wheat. And so when they grind the wheat to make bread for you, they got bug doo-doo and bug doo-doo and doo-doo-doo-doo. They grind bugs and all. That's how silly we is. You think someone's going to, oh, got that bug. You're crazy. Even with the organic, they just tested so much per millions per part. Just a little small percentage. I was going to make this into an organic oasis, in the sense, certified in the state of South Carolina. South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, certification for organic food. It's one of the most lenient ones in the nation. The difference between California and here. I like to buy seeds from California because I know those boys out there on those organic ones, they tend to be a little real off on you. It was one of the most, I had all the paper, I had to did all the searching. Matter of fact, when they came to look at our land down at the extension here, man said, preacher, you don't need to be teaching us. A young black man, he was a graduate of South Carolina State. He said, oh, preacher, can we come down in the week? We will supply you with fish, your ponds. I said, no. And now, I said, no, sir, none of this time. We want to experiment things, all right? He said, preacher, look, I can put fish in that pond for you now. You tell me, he said, we will not interfere with it. We just need to come down every song. We want to experiment with things. We want to test things. I said, nah, I ain't going to do that. You're not going to be just popping in on me like that. They didn't know what we knew. And we didn't know nothing. Still don't know anything. But they didn't even know what we know. So how do you get something that you think is all, and these folks will get on YouTube and everywhere and talking about GMO, and they are the ones that go right to the store and buy their food from the Walmart and all. And that's a fact. Even that where he works, Trader Joe's, all that is not organic. The only one that will have basically more organic is the place out there on the Earth Fair. That's not all organic. And people are crazy. Eating bread is not going to keep you alive. You must eat the bread. Moving on. This is what Jacob says here. James 3:17. It says, but the wisdom that is from above is first of all, it is hachnos. It is pure. You understand the wisdom of that mind? James, Yaakov 3:17. It is not carnal. That is what Habanos means. It's not carnal. There is no carnal ingredient. It's no carnality, no carnal ingredient in it. You will know what I'm asking with wisdom. Maybe talking about carnal things and laughter and clowning and playing. You know that's carnal. I don't play with you. Period. That is what Hachnos. It has no carnal. It's pure. It's free from any kind of carnality. It's free from all of the gesturing and folly. That's the wisdom of God, that man. Then it is full of shalom. Not just shalom, it's full of shalom. I don't care what Yah does, let him do it. I want him to do it. That means you're going to lose your life. For me to lose it for Yeshua, I mean I'm going to gain something. So I don't mind dropping this. It's going to drop anyway. This bug, skidworm's going to eat me. It's going to rot. Period. You can be all intimidated and afraid about that. Sometimes I was thinking of this, oh man, sometimes it can be a little intimidating. But it's quickly resolved with me. Death. Really is. Honestly, I'm just being honest with you. Quickly. Stop it. We all going to have that tendency. But it's quickly resolved. Because I know it is inevitable. It's going to happen. First of all, it's pure. It is full of shalom. It is very gentle. It's one thing about us as people, we don't think, someone like me, he's not gentle. Well, he's not gentle. You tell me that a mother fussing at that daughter or the father, that son, he's not gentle with him. When he said, you're wrong, boy, that what you're doing is crazy. It's stupid. You tell me that's not gentle. We don't even know what gentle is. Because he still loves the boy. You give him $1 if you needed it. This is how the world has twisted our stupidity. This is how the world has messed us up. And we're crazy as they come. We're crazy just like the world. Well, he ain't gentle down there. He is so mean. Look how he talks. It's crazy. It's easy to be your big days. Your big days intrigue. It's easy. Wisdom is easy. You know what your big days implies? It's easy to obey. It's easy to do it. It's easy to comply to wisdom. That's what your big days. Your big days. It's easily to be intrigued. It is full of kindness and tough fruit. I think that's kindness if someone is going to bring in my house and someone says they, you know, I don't care how they holler. Let me know. We don't think that when someone says something and the temperament of their voice is an indicator that why you have to talk so loud? Because it's hard for you to hear.
Yeah.
You don't hear well. That's why you have to use them kind of words because you don't understand. You can't even tell me a sentence or proper sentence construct. Tell me the 7 parts. You trying to tell me how I ought to talk, and yet you can't even tell me the composition of a sentence. Get out of my face. You're not going to wrap me up in no foolishness like that. That's what this kingdom does. And there was one that Yeshua, when he got up out of the great sea, was the one, Miriam, that he had cast out 7 demons out of the woman. We dealing with a demon shove them a world that convinces you of one thing. You're greater. You're greater than, quote now, your God, unquote. Because you got your God. To tell you you're greater than Yah. That's why Hava, he said you're greater. You will be just like him. You will know all things like, and we are. You ever heard anyone say, that's Miss Noel, she knows everything. You ever heard that verbiage? She's the only one in here. She's heard it. I know you. I have.
Yeah.
You can't. He know everything. Mr. Know-it-all. Mr. Know-it-all. I don't care what you talk about. There was an old man. He died. He used to come here. And you all that was with us, you all remember him. The old man. And the old man was a college degree person. He was Mr. Crawford, they found him in his home dead, just straight down from you all. And Mr. Crawford, he knew everything. He thought he was smarter than anyone. But when he would tag up with me, he was in trouble. Well, the things we talked about, Mr. Crawford, I know. And I remember one day we were all out there, one of the feast days, one evening. These his words, he said, you know, Dawid, I want to tell you something. You're not just going to get it past you like that. Because he knows. He said, you remind me of my brother. And he said his brother he ran the medical, he was like a minister of medicine in Saudi Arabia. He was a military. He was a colonel in the military when he got in the military. He said, my brother's been in Saudi Arabia for the last 25 years. And I know that happened because if I don't know if y'all remember, BONDAGE YisraYah'ale, when he visited us here from Augusta, he left America and went to Saudi Arabia to work as an IT professional. So a lot of people in professional go to Saudi Arabia, you know, in many parts of the world, to do those kinds of jobs. But I knew what Mr. Crawford was talking about. It was all carnal, so it really has no impact. So what? So we will know that mind of Yah. We will know when the time and when the wisdom, how it will speak to us. It's full of 12 fruit. It is without partiality and purity. It's not partial today, sometime up, down. You can't do that. You can't say something today and try to interpret it some other way tomorrow. And it's without hypocrisy. It's always real. If you have Yah wisdom, you're always real. If you fake as two leprechauns use, you don't have the wisdom of Yah. My dialogue all these years has been the same. Whether you like me or not. No one has made Yah's course change in my life. And I'm not going to let anybody do that. If I had let them do that, they're still gone, are they not? That's not going to happen with me. Now let us go here in Hanukkah. Hallelujah. I'm not going to get on this thing. Hanukkah quickly. He begins to speak about the 7 mountains as we understood from the beginning, Revelation 17:9, the mind which has wisdom, it understands, it will open up through. The mind of wisdom ponders, it searches, it seeks out what is written in the book. And this is what Hanuk says here in Hannah. We want to see something here, right? Yeah. Hanuk chapter 18 and verse 6. And this says, as he was traveling, and he saw in the distance this kind of cataclysmic, these reactions, and to understand all that, you need to start at Hanuk probably 15 to see this journey. We all on a journey. This journey he was traveling in the wisdom, the guidance of Yah. And he saw the cornerstones of the earth and everything, the storehouse and the winds. And before that, you can see how the winds, the different winds, and what they perform. The wind of the Ruach, the wind of evil, and all those things. And that's what the Ruach is. That's what the Ruach is. It's the wind. It is the breath of God. It's the life of God. But he says something important here in Hanuk 18 and verse 6. He said, and I kept moving in the direction of the west, and it was flaming lahach. There was a blazing, there was a flaming day and night. And I'm moving toward the 7 mountains. It defines 7 mountains. And not only mountains, but also of precious stones. Now, I've been to the Rockies and mountains around here. I didn't see what we will call no precious stones, embedded diamonds and rubies and carbuncle and all of that. This is more than a physical, visual mountain. It represents where all the riches of Yah and all the supplements of Yah lies. Lies. And there is a flame of fire and a battle we're going to endure to capture that place. Nation, it is not some place. There are folks that would just give up living, period. Kill me. But it's not that way. There is a battle. It's beyond the concept of what we know battles has. So they tell you that the Russians are coming and may go. I've heard that in the Christian realm, and I've never identified as a Christian. But I'm traveling towards something that is much more superior and much greater. That is what Nahash commands of you. That's why it says to Hava, Ifaya, tell him you don't give a damn about what he says. Tell him I'm in charge. And that's the way we think, that we all are in charge. I rule my destiny. I rule. You have no destiny. Nothing but death, my friend. That's it. He said, and I saw this lochat, this blazing fire. I saw it day and night toward the 7 mountains, 7 stones, 3 toward the east, 3 toward the south. Now, this is not some kind of sequential dialogue here. Now, I want us to hold our finger there and go to the 24th chapter of Hanuk. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I want to read one verse out of the 24th chapter of Hanuk. Verse 1. He said, from there, in his moving, I went to another place of the earth, and he showed me a mountain of fire that was flaming day and night. That's what he identified in Hanuk 18 and 6. When he said it was flaming day and night. You'll understand that. The flame, the fire that burns down. That's why the Ruach of Yah, it burns deep down within it's like a fire. And they set upon them with cloven tongues of fire. And they began to speak the language of Yah's truth interpretation. The wisdom of Torah was revealed unto them. And the power of his word, YHWH HaMashiach, was made known. And then they asked, what must I do? I want to go into this kingdom. And then they sold all they had and brought it to the Shulisham feet, and there was need met for everyone there. Now these 2 verses here, hold your finger there. Then let's go to Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 11 through 13. I want to read that. What is this fire? What does this flaming fire? Let's read this in Devarim, that we can get some revelation and understanding of this. All right? Hallelujah. Just like the tablets, there's a book that no man could open the book. But Yahshua, no man could break the seal. Yahshua. And the seal of this crazy man of ours is going to take the truth of Yahshua to break this ignorance of ours. Look what it says in Devarim 14:11. And you came near and stood under the mountain. Under the mountain. Hanuk 24:1 says, and he showed me a mountain. Yes. That's what he said, doesn't he? Yes. And he showed me not mountains, but a mountain. Moshe, and you came near and you stood under the mountain. Under the mountain. And the mountain burned with fire to the midst of the heavens. That's a fire. That's a blaze of a bright light. And the mountain, the fire in the heavens, with darkness, clouds, thick darkness. And Yah spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. Yah doesn't speak to everyone. Just like out of the midst of the fire, he directs the very order of Hanuk. And I saw this mountain. Who is and what is this mountain? What is this infernal fire that burns deep down in us, that guide us and direct us to the mind of the Torah mind? What is it? He said, I heard the voice of the words, but I saw no similitude. I didn't see no person, no one. I only heard a voice. And the voice does one thing. It directs us to one thing, and that is Torah, period. It says, and he declared to you, and he declared to Moshe his covenant, his brit, his allegiance, his marriage, which he commanded you to perform. We must perform. You're not getting revelation without performing what Yah commands us to do. There is no revelation knowledge when men stand on corners and denigrating those that's supposed to be the weaker vessel and speaking to them and saying, I know my language may not be the best, but these individuals, their languages, it's not even atrocious, it's vile, it's repugnant, it's crazy, it's stupid, it's dumb. And they call the women the same thing they will call their own mammy. And that's a fact. And that's just a fact. Verse 13 again, and he declared to you his brit. And that's what this book does. And that's what YHWH does in Gilead of Revelation. He declares the covenant. He declares the children. He declares the house. He shows who's coming in the house. He says, brit, he commanded you, he commanded us to perform. We must do. You can't talk this. You must love him with all. You must love your neighbor as yourself. You must love YisraYah'ale. You must, and upon them every stipulation of Torah, every statute, all hinge upon that. Everything hinge upon that. Everything. Everything hinge upon that. Everything, your season, your confidence, and all of that hinge upon that. Loving Yah, and then loving your neighbor as yourself. Everything hinge upon that. Yes. And without that, the mind, you cannot understand what is being said or written, or has been written in this book. Yeah. He commands us to perform what? Even the 10 Commandments, which he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. That's what he did. And that's a reflection of us as well. Our hearts are hardened, they're stubborn, they're stout, they're evil. And that's why Yah must impel that old stubborn carnal heart. And give us some heart of flesh. Because in that flesh, he enthroned the mind with the Torah. He enthroned the mind of man with the Torah. He put that there. And that's why he speaks to us here as Hanuk making that journey. There are going to be fiery trials and trials of fire. He never said it would not be. You're going to have trials and afflictions. Many are the afflictions of the city, but Yah will deliver them out of them all. And so we're heading toward a mountain where the fire is the fervent heat of Yah, the word of Yah, that it cleanses you, it purges you, it takes out all the dross. You cannot get the dross out of gold without putting it in the fire. There are going to be fiery trials that's going to try us and test us. It's not going to be Mr. Trump. Yah put Mr. Trump there. He raised up the government. That's what Dawid told Belshazzar, your daddy, Yah raised him up. Yah gave him riches. So keep giving Mr. Trump riches. Keep giving Mr. Trump his nasty attitude because America's nasty, but people are nasty. Look at you now. We don't think ours is nasty. Everybody's nasty but me. And you're the most nastiest. He put Mr. Trump there. He gave you a faggot lover and Mr. Barack Hussein lover. He gave you a faggot lover. And Barack, you got excited about a faggot lover. A faggot lover. And he gave you a dog from the dog pound. And nigger a dog from the dog pound. He doesn't respect your money. He doesn't respect you colored folks. You white folks, he doesn't give a damn. He thinks you white folks are stupid and dumb because he's the smartest man. He doesn't respect any of you. He doesn't respect you folks that are blacker than tar or you that are tanner than tan. He doesn't give a damn. You know why y'all gave you that and this nation that? Because that's the way we is. We don't give a damn about him. We don't care about YisraYah'ale. Trump loves things that are filthy, and that's what we love. He embraces whores. He does things that are nasty, and you know it. He knows he does it. You're allowed to come back. And that's the kind of nation we is. We're people, we lie, we do things that we know that's evil. And we're lying doing, and that's why he gave us Mr. Trump. He sets up the king. Your vote instead of Mr. Trump. Try for him, Mr. Trump. Get them all. We need to come together as a nation. No, you need to begin, first of all, learn how to love YisraYah'ale. You got all those soothsayers out there. We need to come together collectively. We don't have to agree to walk together. I'm not walking with no man. How would you walk together unless they agree? I'm not here to agree with you to disagree. We agree, we agree. If we don't agree, we don't agree, period. I'm not going to compromise with you. I'm not going to make you like me. Yah's not compromising with not one of us. He's not trying to make you like him. He doesn't care if you don't like him. He's commanded you to love him if you know him. You would love him if you know him. We must understand this vision, this wisdom of these 7 mountains and 7 heads. There's no man that the only head rise up in you is your own arrogance or pride. And when that head rises up, it doesn't give a damn who is in front of, who is entertaining, whether it's wife, husband, children. It doesn't care. Those 7 kings, you got your 7 kings. Those 7 sons of Elisha and a mother that carried a Torah in her bosom, that she took great delight that her sons did not falter, they did not give up, they did not give in, but they stood the test of death, and she said, I'm dying with him. I laid down my life. We're nothing but a pack of damnable hypocrites, and we're phony, and we must begin to examine our own crazy ways. There's no revelation in this earth. There is no revelation. There is no revelation. What YHWH said, there are not men saying that. They can read what YHWH said. They're not adding nothing to what Moshe said. You can add nothing to what I just read in the Bible. And he walked, he had the challenge. He saw that mountain of flame and fire. And there, why? Because it represents the purity and the flame that burns within us, and we shall be immersed with power and the fire of HaRuach of Yah that purges and cleanses and washes. And that's just a fact. You listen, there are folks, they have steeled themselves away in the hills and all over this country, and they live all right. There's some folks that have been in the woods the last 20 years. You'll be surprised. No neighbors. There are folks that live clear. You'll be surprised how people can hide themselves. There are people that are criminals, and nobody knows that they're criminals, and they've hidden themselves. This concept that came from who you identify as Esau, the computer chip. No, y'all didn't tell you that, you lying damn devil. I will call a devil, as they would say, I call a spade a spade. They're lying devils. I remember 30-some years ago, about 35 years ago, Elder Rogers, we call him Apostle Rogers, he gave me a book there. It is called the mark of the beast. He had this handle and a head. The computer or the chip. So don't tell me that he spoke that to you. You're lying devils. They're lying dogs, what they are. And it was not written by no Hebrew Israelite. It was written by what you call Esau. It was written by a white man. I looked at the book. I read a few lines of the foreword, and I never picked it up again because I knew that that was a lie. I knew that was a lie. I knew that was a lie. I didn't read the book. And so this damnable concept now is what's going around now, these liars on the corners. It's the computer chip. It's this. Well, Yah talks about Nahash in the Greek, Harachma. It is the same. It is the spirit of one's mind. And they all ran upon one of those sevens that was called out to run the affairs of the gathering of Yah's people. His name Saphonia, and with their teeth and all, they were like beasts with it. And they bit and they stomped and they grabbed and gnawed on that man's flesh. Yes. We're no different. No. We're the same. We're like beasts. Yes. That's what Nahash is. It is a beastless spirit. It kills. It doesn't respect. It has no love. That's why we're in a time where no man is going to even trust his brother. No one. That's why we have to learn how to have a real compassion and care for each other. And get over your stupid jive, juvenile's emotions and your feelings, little boy, little girl. And those that have said, oh, I want to come visit. And I send them the dress cold here. I don't even hear back from them. I'm telling you the truth. Well, we were coming, but we changed our mind. Isn't that amazing? The airline probably, he has to dress in the same uniform as police officer has dressed like. You can't wear no earbuds on the police force unless you're doing some undercover work. No, that's a fact. They just start letting them grow. Many places they let them grow beards now. You can't do that. You can't even work in McDonald's and your Philly fat tight rockers you got on your pants so tight. You can't even do that. That's a fact, people. When it comes to God, you can dress like a sleaze, a slut, or whore. Men dressing all effeminate and faggotism. It's not going to be here. Yeah. Believe me, 3 of them. And one didn't even respond back. The other one wrote back and said, well, we're not going to make it at this time. Because your wife is like coming out dressed like a whore, showing off her titties, and you're not coming here dressed like a little effeminate faggot. Yeah. There are certain jobs they demand a certain dress code. You're not going to find any lawyer you say what you want to, unless he's a show-knuckle, shuck-buck. You're going to find one of those earrings that big on. There are places that will tolerate that for the moment. And there are certain cities like a New York City, she's not coming in the courtroom with no nose ring in their nose. That's just a fact. That's a fact. Yes. Just say, ma'am, can I see you in my chambers? You remove that. That's a fact. You're not going to, this is my courtroom. This is my house. You're not coming, they do it. You're not coming in my house that way. You got on what? Ma'am, go out. With this word, no. You get out of my courtroom. It's their courtroom. And they make the decision. This is Yah's house. Yeah. This is his house. Yeah. I don't give a damn who he is. Yeah. Y'all got rules. Everything in life got rules. Yes. And that's just a fact. And we're crazy to disengage ourselves from that. So they won't even visit. That's all right with me. I don't have a problem with that. Period. Let's go back to Hanuk. All right? Go here to Yeshaya quickly. Isaiah. Yeshaya. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 5. This is the day of YHWH HaMashiach. That's why you got to understand this. You got to understand. Haluk in verse 6 of 18, chapter 18, 24, he talks about a mountain of fire, which was a flame day and night. In verse 1 of chapter 24, he talks about, and it was a flame in Lahats, day and night toward the seven mountains. That this course that I had to take. Now let's see what Yeshaya says here in the kingdom. Concerning the kingdom or the time or the day of Yahshua. He was traveling toward this time. That's what Hanak was doing. He was traveling toward this time, this everlasting time. This time of the great Redeemer. This time of Yah's hands revealed. And that's what we're traveling toward. The time where Yah will reveal his hand. He's going to reveal his hand. And look what the prophet says in Isaiah chapter 4 verse 5. And Yah will create upon every dwelling place, upon Mount Sion in Jerusalem, upon Jerusalem, and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day, like he did in the beginning with Moshe, and a shining of flaming fire by night. For upon all the splendor shall be a defense. That is our defense. That we burn with the embers of the fire of Almighty Yah. And there is nothing, I don't care day or night, that get past us, nation. That's going to be our defense. Well, are you sure about that, preacher? Well, let's go to Zechariah chapter 3. Zechariah chapter 3. Oh, Zechariah chapter 3, verse 9, quickly. He says, for behold, the stone that I have laid before Yahushua, upon one stone, there shall be 7 eyes and wisdom. There's only one strong tower, as he brought out to us. There's only one mountain. Yahshua, he said, upon one stone shall be the incrustation and the embodiment, and there shall be 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave the graving thereof, says Yahweh, and I will remove, I'm telling you, he's watching us. Wisdom watch over us, and the fear of Yah watches over us, and the below of Yah, and the counsel of Yah, and those 7 eyes represents the very intense look of Yah upon us and our sins, nation. He watches over us.
Yes.
Yah says, and that's the only way, I will remove iniquity, the ovan of that land. How long is it going to take you? In one day. One day. Then he goes on to say, verse 10. In that day, says Yah of hosts. In that day, says Yah of hosts, shall you call every man his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree. I love you, brother. We're going to shine in the ma'or of Yah. We're going to rejoice in the ma'or and the rejoicing of Almighty Yah. The reason we're inhibited in our love because there's such iniquity in us. This book is not written to tell us some kind of spaceships and some kind of kings. Yah sets up every king.
Yes.
And as he turns the rivers, as Shlomo says, the rivers of water, so he turns the heart of the king.
Yes.
So he gave us bush 1 and bush 2. He gave this nation a whoremonger because this nation has always gone a whoring after gods and their gods. He gave them Mr. Clintonian. And then he gave us one that was born of what they call an interracial society of acceptance. He accepted nobody but faggots. Gave faggots everything. You folks look like me, you ran out. You couldn't sleep that night to get up and vote. You wanted to be the first one at the poll. Damn no shame when you can't even get off on your knees and pray unto Him.
Hallelujah.
And He loved faggots more than He loved anybody. Put them in His cabinet. Everything. And Mr. Trump says, I'm going to tear it up. I'm ruthless. I'm a mean mama tama. And he is the devil. Just like Obama was the devil. They all are devils. Obama did nothing for people that look like you. Yeah, gave you Obamacare. I don't even know how it works. He gave you Obamacare like He cares. He cared for no one but sisters. Nothing but faggots. He didn't care for nobody but fags. And that's just a fact of the matter. That's all right. That's all He cared for. I got that. Don't worry about that. That's all He cared for. Faggots. Period. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Back to Isaiah 4 and 6. I'll read the last. I told you Isaiah 4 and 5, but let me read verse 6. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat. I like that. At a place of refuge, at a covering from the storm and from the rain. I don't care when they drop, you say they're going to drop their nuclear bomb. You know, it's one thing about greedy merchants. You got to have people to make you money. So the concept of that is just lies. Stupid. Mr. Trump is not about to pull no bomb. When YHWH dropped the bomb, baby, he's going to drop the bomb and all of them going to fall at one time. Because if they found Russia, Russia going to found them, and China going to found them. If they found China, then India going to found them and cross, and then Pakistan, all these nations with nuclear bombs, all right? And you don't know what South Korea got, North Korea got. America's not the only one that has a nuclear bomb. That Israel got, and then when they found places like Pakistan, they're going to obliterate that little piece of stretch of land over there. So where's the nuclear power? Now how are you going to get a man to rise? Who will be the man to rise? This is, even their logic is so stupid. The rich man's money will mean nothing. The merchants' their money will mean nothing. The money will have no value. It is so stupid, and people buy stupid childlike Mickey Mouse mess like that. They were about that. But they don't want nobody to tell them the truth, that it deals, all this is about you. It's not about you, but it's about you. It's not about you, but it's about you. You got to get your damn wicked heart right. That's the fact of the matter. And so when that mountain, that flaming fire, shine, just like Jeremiah says, just like fire, shut up in my bones.
Yes.
When that mountain and that what we're pressing toward, the high callings of Yahweh, you're sure, you know when you're right. I don't like deceivers, I don't like liars. I'm not a liar. Have I lied? Or sure I've lied. I've never purposely. She says to me last night, you told me those 3 moles on your back. She said, I want an answer. And I want to know why you lied to me. Well, I thought it was ticklish. It was funny to me. She said, and she was dead serious. Those 3 moles on your back, on your shoulder. You told me that a frog urinated on you. I said, yeah. I remember. You know how long that took? I said, frog wee-wee on me. How did the frog get it? I said, I told you that because I was sick. And if you bought that, you said you never lied to me. I said, baby, if you believe that the frog did that, I can sell you a last $50. You believe that? You bringing that up this time? The frog did it. How about that? All right.
Yeah.
I want to finish up this because I want to start a different path on next. Nah, I can't finish it out. And you realize, oh, that part I'll save. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I want to go back here in 7 Mountains. And there is, where is that verse? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'll find it. Hallelujah. Recently, there's a precious stone. That's not the one I'm looking for. There's a stone there. I want to make sure I got everything in its sequential order, and I tend to kind of indicate that with the line under the words on it. Excuse me, go back and find what I'm teaching from. No, I can't remember all these verses already. I'm not going to try to. It's easy for me to copy them and paste them, and I can go right to where I want to. I read that in Hallel 18:6, where he talks about the 7 mountains of precious stones, but that's not the verse. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a mountain fire, day and night journey. It went to another place. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
But there's one thing where I read at a stone. Where did I read that from? A stone. Hallelujah. Because it's a mountain of fire. All right. Let me read this. There's where I'm on right. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
It says here in Revelation, let's go there, 17:4. It talks about this woman who sits and how her attire is one thing that the enemy always tries to do, is emulate the preciseness of Almighty Yah. Yochanan says, Revelation, Gilgal 74, and the woman was dressed. I did a teaching on the colors, the Choim in the house of Yah. She was dressed in purple and a scarlet color, I decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. And she had a golden cup in her hand. It was full of, in her hand, it was full of abomination, filthiness of her own sin, her own fornication, all wickedness spiritually, not just in the natural sense, but a hola and a holabah. YisraYah'ale and Yehuda, they have always gone a whoring after every kind of whoredom there is. And that's the way we is, nation. We give ourselves everything. We don't try the spirit of nothing. We know that it's of Yah. It's not of Yah, so we justify what we do. You can't do that. You can't justify lies and corruptions and nothing. And she had on every kind of precious stone. Her stones were her filthiness, her sins, her corruption. Just like Daddy, so is the son and the daughter. As the mother is, so is the daughter. As a Hola and Holabah, the daughters are just like her. It's just a fact. That's what Torah says. As the mother's a wise woman, the daughters will be wise. And that's the fact that the mother's a whore, the daughters are going to be whores. The dad is a whoremonger. Very seldom you're going to find someone break from that thing. That's why it's vitally important for children to have their fathers. That's why it's important for children to have a father.
Hallelujah.
It's vitally important.
Hallelujah.
I know there's circumstances that if the nation lived the way Yah intended for them to live, the fathers would be there. If the nation lived like Yah says live,
Yes, yeah.
and that is obeying the Torah, they would be there.
Yes.
They have never had the will to do that. But look at how she's done. It says this woman in Revelation 17:4, It says her dressing was in every precious stone. It says that.
Yeah.
It says in YHWH, chapter 28 and 13. I'm going to stop you because I thought I had enough time. I will pick up from here on next week. And we're going to carry this on through, all right? Because I wanted to deal with the 7 SHABBAT. The Torah talks about there are 7 dignified mountains. 7 dignified. You don't find the word dignified in Torah. So you got to search to find what the word dignified implies and what it means, all right? But that's what it says here, the grandeur. We think because we dress in a way we think we have it, that we're all right with God. It's not so. In YHWH 28:13, this whore was dressed in every and precious stone. It says in YHWH 28:13, he says to Hasatan Nachash, you have been in Eden, the garden of Yah. That's what he said.
Yes.
You have been there. You have covered yourself. He says, and every precious stone. Same thing with her, every precious stone. He said, and every precious stone was your covering. He names them the sardius and the topaz and the diamond and beryl and onyx, jasmine, sapphire and emerald, and carbuncle and gold. He says, and the workmanship of your tabret, or the setting of those stones, and of your pipe or the mountain of them, they were prepared in you in the day that you were created. So there is nothing new under the sun. So he says, from the day you a cherub, from the day I created you, from the day he created man, did he create him with the emotions that he would love and understand the Torah? Yes. He created him with emotions. It's what it said. He created him with emotion. He made him this way. Yes. He says that I prepared in the day that you were bara. He called him his mimshach. He said, you were my anointed cherub. And not only that, my cherub that covered. You were the one that hedged about. You were the one that shochach. And he says, and I have set you so. He put him there. You were upon the Kodesh mountain. There's a mountain. He was upon the high place of Yah. That's why he takes command. There ain't nothing higher. Your finger is nice, but it does nothing without that. Your hand is beautiful, man. I love my fat fingers, but I need that to instruct. That. You need that. And without the mind of wisdom, you will never understand the time. So that's why we'll be gullible and buy everything. Yes. I don't care what silly someone says, you will buy that. Hush your tongue. He says, I know, Chava. What I say, I've been there. I've seen that. I've done that. And I know what that is. I know that. You don't. You can't tell me about that, please. I can't. He says, and every precious stone you're covering, he tells them that you are the anointed, the mimshach, cherub, the covering, and I've set you so. I've set you so. You are upon the Kadosh mountain of Yah. And you have walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. You were perfect. You were perfect. You were perfect to me. In your ways from the day that you were created, so was man. Until ever injustice was found in you. We walk in the perfect ways of Yah until that evil spirit, the injustice of our corruption, once it raises its head, we become corrupt and evil. Yah has granted unto us to sit in the heavenly places with him, that we can dine in the manifestation and the knowledge of Torah. You can't teach on the end time or open up any door as to what this wisdom is from some books that some devils that are trying to make money are talking about. And that's where all this, what they call insight, or what is taking place coming from books and internet. They don't have no idea. I don't do it before I got here. I don't do it. I'll be telling you a lie if I said I do it. I don't watch their videos. I tell you what happened. Someone sent me an email the other day. It was somewhat of a repudiation. They were rebuking me. I said, look at this fool. You need to listen to this, brother. I clicked on the link. And I started listening. The man was most effeminate. He read one verse, and he brought in everything from GMOs, war. He didn't quote, and I just kind of clicked down. I can watch an hour video in 5 minutes, because I know what they're going to say. I know what to click and see. I know what to click. And half an hour later, he had not quoted one of the scriptures. And you tell me, listen to him, this little effeminate like man, he looked effeminate. I'm not lying just saying that. You sent me that. That way he responded. I just, let me see who. Or it was about the end time. There was, this boy doesn't even know his name well. This is what is out there captivating the people. They want that. It's one thing about the end time. Can I ask us all a question? You know that the end time is coming. We know that. You know it's coming. If you knew the exact day that you were going to die, would you not prepare for that? Would you not examine yourself even in the morning, make sure? And you want to examine your love and your care and all that. Brother said to me, he knows he's going to pass. I want to make sure that's all I do. I want to make sure everything is squared away. I got everything in order. Well, he knows, at least he knows that his days are not uncertain, but his days are certain. He's only 60 years old. But he knows he's dying. He knows that. So I think if I knew that it was a certain time, within a certain framework, if I know that I'm going to die at 69 years old, I think at 68, 66, 67, I'm going to get this thing right. And then one, in that state, their love becomes more gentle and more caring. And people like that knowing they're dying, that's a whole evolution of their change. Someone that is wicked and don't give a damn, they're not going to change for nobody. They're wicked, they're cold. But if a person knows that one is dying, they tend to, although they don't know Yah, they tend to do things in a way that is more just. They try to be kinder, and they won't get upset like me. You understand? And that's how they do it. It's just a fact. Yeshua is coming.
Yeah.
There's a kingdom.
Yeah.
And he's not going to restore this nasty kingdom here. No kingdom. His kingdom is coming down. The mother of all mothers.
Yeah.
YHWH. And he's going to restore his city. His city. You understand? And the devils are still going to rise up. If y'all gave us 1,000 years, at the end of that, we're going to even be more wicked than we are now.
True.
And it will come to pass.
Hallelujah.
Even in 1,000, he's showing us within the context of this kingdom blessing. If I let you live for 1,000 years, no man has lived a day in God's sight in that sense. You're still going to be wicked. And that's what that represents. Methuselah, that's what he represents. He represents a day in the presence of Yah. To your, even that a day, even 1,000 years, it's really not a day with Yah, but for the calculation of our own time and season. He gives us that so we can have a sense of what a day is. And even after that day is over 1,000 years, they're still wicked. And they're going to do even more wicked. They're going to do wicked. Fact of the matter. That's why there are things, those that are not going into the kingdom. There's 7 kinds that are not going into the kingdom. You that love to lie and make a lie, you pretend it's all right, but you know it's all right. That's evil. Is that all right? Just nah, I ain't feeling it. That's the way we used to do it, you know that. I ain't feeling it only. All right. Some play over you, know, okay. I think it's suave. I got you. Just leave me alone. Got you. That's the way we did it. I didn't hang around with young buddies, young fellas. They were silly, they were stupid, and they were immature. I like older men. I'd hang around catching men, and they were silly. I'm just being honest with you. Fellas my age were silly. The girls were silly, and the boys were silly. That's just the fact of the matter. The young girls of my days were silly. They did have a little more maturity than this generation. I should be honest with you. They did. They did. One thing that impressed me about my Israel, when I would go into my home, the house was always spotless. Always clean. Willie had his own, all his brothers there. One lived down there on the beach, he died. The house was always spotless. Always clean. And they always asked him to tell him this. He was always in the kitchen cooking. I liked that. I knew I could get a free meal then. Nothing else, I get a free meal. I knew that. Sometimes I sit in there with the kitchen with her, she's cooking the sweet potatoes. Oh my. She got chicken fried. And her brother he was like this, and he would prepare his big old plate. I'm hungry as a pig, you know, just hungry. And he knew I would want some. He would fix his plate and he'd sit down and look at me and go, yeah, well, that's all right. I'm going down to the kitchen. And I knew she was going to give me something to eat. He's spitting. That's the way he was. He was spitting. And I'm not talking about no spitting like that. He spitting that way. And he knew I wasn't going to eat it. Fried chicken. That was a personality that was a lot different than I see today. It's just different. It's just different. I don't see that today. I don't see it. It was our mothers that started that change. They messed their daughters up. Their sons. We didn't have no fathers, but there was some construct of our community. That's fact. We respect anyone that was older than us. They don't even do nothing. We had honor. There was no, yeah, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. That's the way it was. You don't have that today. I went to school, you never saw a girl with pants on. I went to a segregated school. They didn't wear them. I went to a segregated school. They didn't wear them. Period. It was one day during the year that we call it Fun Day. I went to John Taylor Way. I was looking forward to go to YHWH because YHWH in those days, the segregated schools, in those days, in the 60s, you knew that they had trade there. I couldn't wait to get to YHWH because everybody had come, everybody had, they had brick masonry, car mechanic, but they all were tailors too. And you're talking about some mean, those young black boys like that, man. I'm in high school, they had some cuts on their slacks and they dressed different than they dressed today. They dressed like men. Beards and all of that. I mean, cats like that. When I was growing up, they had beards. They had beards. Everybody that could grow some hair, they had that. They grew beards. Yeah, they did. It was just a fact. Well, David McNeely and all those boys, bro, we called him, bro, he was a ball player. He died. Herod had it. But I'm saying, but everyone looked forward to the high school. Second ward, we didn't have it in our community. Second ward, YHWH. We're at Wilson High School, John Taylor Way. And then the other schools, the kids would bus. But then and they were overcrowded. But they taught things, principles, and you respect the authority.
True.
You did.
Yes.
Now, no young boys doing something to the young girls like that. And in all those days, I never saw one girl. The winter was cold, frigid cold. They could wear pants under their dress, but to come out with pants on, that wasn't about to happen. That ain't gonna happen then in my segregated school. I didn't even know that girls wore pants in school until the 9th grade in school. When I went to Wilson, it was a culture shock. And all these white girls in blue jeans, and it shocked me. And even our girls still didn't even wear that until they began to embrace that and they started. I don't remember you seeing your Wilson pants on, I really don't. Did you have them in pants? I don't remember wearing pants on. Because we had that culture and richness in us. You don't understand that. It's an abomination. You don't put on the woman should not wear a man's garment. Neither shall the people say, well, that doesn't mean, but it's also said, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. So that let me know there's a difference, all right?
Yes. Hallelujah.
And I say this, back then we didn't have the computers and all that, but the children were smart. We were smart. We challenged each other. Yeah, we did. We were smart. We were smart. I know fellas I went to school with, the doctors, the lawyers, all the Diggs brothers, Tommy, Ronnie, and what's that? All of them became police officers. Thomas committed suicide, I don't know why. I saw him one day after I was paying the electric bill. I was going out to Duke Energy then. I had the stuff we have today, you just click on it. And I saw Thomas, and I was fit as a fiddle then. I was about 225 pounds, 33-inch waist, and I could hold the metal to the paddle. And I saw him, and he saw me. I said, Thomas, how are you doing? I hadn't seen Thomas. I wish I was in my 30s, maybe 32. And we saw each other, we embraced. I said, Thomas, can I tell you something? I said, you remember that day you ripped the fire me? Thomas was a diminutive person. You know, back in the days, you know, we were all the same size. He looked so much bigger. But when I saw him that day, he police officer, he said, man, what are you doing? I said, Thomas, I'm not going to let you get my job. You ripped the fire me. He had on the ground. And I'm trying to go, then I tried to look up there where he would, pow, he would hit me on that pow. Anywhere I turned, he was putting that fist in my head. He didn't spare me at all. I said, Thomas, you put it on me. No, man, come on now, come on. Thomas, you think I'm gonna fight you? If we're men, you police officer, get out of here. Now I said, man, Rosalind McMurray. She was a big girl. And we were at Druid Hill swimming pool. We used to go out and swim in that thing. And we had no money. And Rosalind was a big girl. She was strong too. We were down to Druid Hill, that's where we were all going. Obviously, y'all going down to school. Now, don't go no fun there. If you do, I'm going to whip you. You know how they talk. We went down to Druid Hill. We could cut a path through the woods and come right out on Ronnie Avenue. Through the woods, we walked through the woods to get to school. And that day, I don't know what happened. But Rosalind McMurray and I got into a fight. She put the fire in me. And every time I went back to get some of her, she got all of me. She whipped the fire in me. She did. She whipped me, she beat me nice. And I'm trying to make amends because I can't start back school the fall. Everybody we didn't have telephone, didn't have no cameras, they didn't have no cell, no Android. But they all knew. That got around that week. Oh, Rosalind beat the fire out of him. Oh, she got old Dave Roberts, she beat him up. Oh, she got him. You know, you got to be ashamed. Rosalind went to me like that. So when I saw Rosalind, strong man then, big, strong. I said, Rosalind, how are you doing? She said, oh my, where have I said, Rosalind, I've been waiting to see you. What? I said, Rosalind, you remember that day on the 2 years you whipped me, you beat me, you beat me. She said, oh no, you know we never. I said, girl, don't even try that with me. I know you woman, I'm a man. I ain't got nothing to do with it. You whipped the fire of me, oh. No, you know you did. You just. Rosalind, you don't forget that. She whipped the fire of me. She beat me down. And me, being arrogant and so ashamed that she whipped me, every time I went back to get something, she gave me something. That was so. She whipped the fire out of me. That's when old Charlie White, never forget old Charlie White. Angular fella, Charlie didn't mess with nobody. And I call myself, we gonna throw down. I don't know where Charlie got that strength from that day. But Charlie went up in me like a bee in a pot of honey. He jacked me up. He jammed me on the ground. He did show me some kindness though. He had me down. And he would beat me for a while and he'd say, you gonna stop? Yeah, I'm gonna stop until I get up, Charlie. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. He wouldn't let me in. You're not ashamed of, oh, stop it. He whipped the out of me. But I got a little tough after that though. Yeah, couldn't let her whip me today now. Bless you all. We encourage YisraYah'ale. You that have joined us, send an offering or a gift. We're here to deal with our sins, our corruption, the house that doesn't care. You don't care about no money. I ain't talking to you. You say you love your family, you don't even love them. This world doesn't care about nobody. Nobody. They don't care about nobody. They tell you they love everybody. They don't love nobody. They don't. This is our own man. So you know you my disciple. Not because I love my family. No, I love the family of YisraYah'ale.
Yeah.
I love his nation. This is our own men shall know that you are my Dawid. The love we have one toward the other. That's how they know. Not because of my affection for my son or my daughter, but because I love your son and your daughter. And that's the way it should be. These children here just like my grandbaby. That's the way it is. When I last week, she got no more than she got. That's how it goes. And the reason they got what they got, the boys were helping me. Let me close with us. I said, all right, boys, I'm tough on them. I don't play with them. I don't get these smiles like that. I want to see you smiling, boy. You're going to work with me today. And he did the same thing. And I had him marching to the stroke too. Get in line. You come around this way, boy. I'm talking like this. You pick it up, you go run that way, and you keep the line going. You understand? Yes, I do. Yes, I did. Don't try to jump. Do what I tell you. They got that power. All right, come over here. Get over here, all of you. I will split your head wide open. Get over here, boy. You go this way, come around this way. They got it down. Believe me. And they were sweating like hogs. They were sweating like hogs. All of them. Yeah, you were. So I said, boys, I tell you what. What offer you want today? He blessed with 35. He wanted 40. He said, in his slow, he said, probably $25. That's that. I said, well, you all get 25. I said, but after you talk, because I want to go on what he said. You didn't have enough? So I do the same thing with the daughter. I want you all to tell me. Who told me? Was it Sarah? I know Sydney's always going to be the low ball, so I know I'm like that. Josie be the low ball. Oh, I don't need that puppy. I got 20, I got 30 at home. And I got, see what I got in my pocket? My mama gave me a 10. I said, right. She said, oh, probably 25. That'll be enough. I like that. Sure that's what you do. Sure that's what you're doing in that bunch. You understand? That's what they got. And the little one got the best. Hallelujah. Let's show be encouraged. Let's stand to our feet. Come on. You're sending an offering. You come, you get fed. You send a gift. And all things we do, Barak Abba. YHWH's mighty name. Bless your people. Go with us and guide us. On this beautiful day, we appreciate all things. Heal us. That's our desire. That we may walk in your truth. Yes, pray the blessing upon your nation, your people scattered abroad in every place. YHWH's name. Hallelujah.
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 Yo, that's the line, huh? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Hallelujah.